Welcome to Business Class, a podcast for people wanting to upgrade their thinking, upgrade their learning, and upgrade their life. I'm your host, Eugenia Pantahos, founder of Business Class Collective, best-selling author, and life coach. If you're an entrepreneur, a startup, or someone who dreams of reaching their full potential, then you're in the right place. You'll feel empowered and inspired to design the life you've always wanted. Let's do this. Welcome back to Business Class. This week, we're discussing the need to take that break, to get away from the usual routine, to explore and discover, to immerse and experience life differently. Holidays are a wonderful way to create some distance from the everyday and provide the slowing down of time and more space that you can return to your senses to take in new sights, sounds, tastes and aromas, to people watch or to make connections. To be inspired by art and architecture, fashion and style, sights and attractions, the people and the interactions, and the local food and wine. Let's not forget that. I'm one of those people who love to travel. I enjoy the energy and bustle at airports, the view from the window seat that always provides perspective. I love to travel by train, having experienced the Indian Pacific from Sydney to Adelaide. And very soon I'll be flying to Darwin and returning home on the Ghan, something I've dreamed about for a while, and soon it will be a reality. So exciting that I just can't wait. The last time we travelled overseas as a family was in early 2008, just as the GFC was happening. And we travelled through Europe, had a wonderful time, but after that it was time to continue raising our children, meet the school commitments, and we took holidays at our beach house or interstate to break up the routine and enjoy life differently. In 2018, I said yes to lots of travel opportunities, some 10 years later. That included Milan and the south of France at the beginning of the year, and then in May of that year, I travelled to Montreal to attend a wedding and to catch up with people who had connected with me because of my book, Greek Life. After that, I explored the Big Apple, that is New York City, and also attended a dinner in honour of me and my publication. In the middle of that year, it was also a return trip to Europe, starting in Rome and heading to Lake Como via Florence, Milan, and then heading south to Naples, Sorrento and Capri before returning to Rome. It was a trip to remember. It was absolutely amazing and the experiences were so enriching. At the end of this trip, I travelled to Greece to see my family and friends and to attend an event that I had been invited to by my friends in New York City. Who would have thought that my book, Greek Life, opened doors in the most amazing of ways and, might I say, in the most beautiful cities. This is the first time I travelled alone internationally, and I'm thankful it was a wonderful and trouble-free experience. I learnt to rely on myself and to be resourceful. I loved it and enjoyed the sense of freedom to catch up with friends and family and immerse myself in the culture of my heritage. It was absolutely priceless. A few months later, I returned to Greece for more catch-ups with family and friends before heading to Frankfurt for the Gourmand International Cookbook Awards, of which my book Greek Life was a recipient for Best Mediterranean Cookbook and Best Self-Published Cookbook for Australia. Something I'm so very proud of. Just as a side note, this is the Olympic Games of the cookbook world, and I won 2 places for Australia. I enjoyed my time in Frankfurt and marvelled at the main river as the plane descended into the city. I met some wonderful people from all over the world, including Edouard Cointreau, the Gourmand Awards president from the famous eponymous liqueur family, and high-profile and well-known, absolutely fabulous journalist with whom I enjoyed an instant bond. And back at the hotel, where we were hosted by a cocktail party, I marvelled at the Bavarian women in the distance seated by the window, enjoying afternoon tea, and how they held themselves with a certain pride, with an amazing dress sense, complete with their traditional hats. The architecture was different and quite colourful, and there were plenty of amazing bakeries, cuckoo clocks, street musicians playing the piano accordion, and the pretzels were so Moorish. As the tour guide led us to take board on the boat for our Rhine trip, we passed rows and rows of community gardens where people shared designated patches to grow their own fruits and vegetables. I enjoyed taking in the breathtaking views of the castles and the vineyards that dotted the Rhine. I also learnt that many people in Germany travel to the southern parts of Europe because it is cheaper to travel and holiday than to run the heating in their homes. This is the beauty of travel. You get to learn about other people and their culture. You gain insights about how they live, and you get to expand your thinking. I'll be completely honest and tell you that when I received an invitation to go to Montreal in Canada, I hesitated. You see, I had just lost my dad a few months earlier, and I felt strange about travelling. It's as simple as that. But I worked through the situation, replied with a resounding yes, and my life was more enriched because of it. And I got to attend a family wedding and make lifelong connections with other cousins and family friends too. Early 2020 saw my cousins from Montreal and my friend from Sofia, who lives in Athens, come to stay with me and my family. It was a wonderful year of reunions and catch-ups and lots of travel for us all. We made memories that would last a lifetime and now, retrospectively, sustain us during the lockdowns of COVID. I'm so thankful for these amazing opportunities, especially as at the time we had no idea what 2020 and 2021 would look like with the pandemic looming around the corner. But somewhere I had heard of some virus that was beginning to spread, and I went to the pharmacy to purchase masks for my friend Sophia, who was returning to Athens. This was mid-February 2020. What you don't know is that I've never purchased a mask in my life, but who would have thought that within weeks we would all be wearing them? Sophia was so thankful for my insight and wore her masks during her trip home. Anyway, these trips enriched my life, and I'm so glad I said yes, because suddenly domestic and international travel came to a halt. Sometimes we need to get out of our own way and embrace the opportunities life affords us. I'm so thankful I got out of my own way. Whilst in Frankfurt, I published my memoir titled Any Given Thursday. I love to travel and write, to sit at hotels and quaint coffee shops, in glamorous lobbies, or tucked up in bed. When inspiration strikes, it's great to have my laptop ready to allow the creative process to flow. I feel lucky that I've designed and I have lived a life that I enjoy, and getting away is a wonderful bonus, as I don't feel that I have to escape the 9-to-5 life. I get to choose and I get to travel to enrich my life and expand my experiences. I've recently visited my children, one who lives in Sydney and the other in Melbourne, and I've loved these visits, especially post-pandemic when I wasn't able to see them at all. It was heartbreaking as a parent to be separated from your children. Earlier this year, I travelled to Hobart for a conference, and soon I'm travelling to the Gold Coast for another conference. I've spent time at my beach house, a few weeks during the summer and some days in between. The reason I'm talking about the travel is it's important to get away. It's important whether it's taking a stroll to your local beach or taking a longer holiday. There are times that we just need to break the routine and become refreshed and renewed because of it. Travel can make you feel healthier. You glow differently. It can relieve stress and enhance creativity. It creates space between your ears and your shoulders, as any worries that you have may seem to subside. It boosts a sense of happiness and satisfaction and increases fitness if you spend time walking and exploring. The extra boost of sunshine gives you the feel-good hormones that reduce the risk of feeling sad or depressed. Travel makes time melt away for the most part. Life takes on a different rhythm and it kind of unfolds naturally. And I love the way that I become even more intuitive when I travel. I become even more inspired. And anyone who knows me well knows that I'm already quite an inspired person anyway. Taking a break can see you more relaxed and rested. And it can improve your mood and reduce anxiety. It can boost your confidence as you navigate unfamiliar countries and languages. You can feel inspired and engaged in ways that you may not have imagined. With the right attitude and openness for learning, travel is a great education. From planning your trip, building your itinerary, solving problems along the way, there's always something that comes up. Managing currencies, having awareness around culture and customs, and taking the experience in your stride without drama, without expectation, and without judgment, as that will most definitely kill the joy of travel. Best of all, you get to explore new places, new cultures, take adventures, meet people, and become more enriched because of it. You make memories way beyond souvenirs, and you'll get to look back on photos and videos and smile because you took the chance to travel. Until next time. You've been listening to Business Class presented by Eugenia Panterhos, founder of Business Class Collective. If you haven't yet, go to Apple Podcast, subscribe, rate and review this podcast. Share the love and let your family and friends know too. You can follow Business Class Collective on Instagram and Facebook. Join me next time.